Eclampsia. Eclampsia is a severe complication of preeclampsia. It's a rare but serious condition where high blood pressure results in seizures during pregnancy. Eclampsia is the result of uncontrolled or unresolved preeclampsia, a condition characterized by high blood pressure, swelling, and protein in the urine. Preeclampsia and eclampsia are pregnancy related high blood pressure disorders. Eclampsia is very rare and only affects about 0.5% women suffering from preeclampsia. In preeclampsia, the mother's high blood pressure reduces the blood supply to the fetus, which may get less oxygen and fewer nutrients. In severe cases, preeclampsia can develop into eclampsia, which includes seizures. These seizures caused in eclampsia usually last about a minute, and the person experiences confusion after the episode is over and may even go into a coma. The seizures can happen before or during labor or after the baby is delivered. If the fetus is not delivered, these conditions can cause the death of the mother or the fetus. In some women, preeclampsia develops between 48 hours and 6 weeks after they deliver their baby, a condition called postpartum preeclampsia. Postpartum preeclampsia and eclampsia can progress very quickly if not treated and may lead to stroke or death. Causes. The exact causes of preeclampsia and eclampsia are not known. Increased blood pressure and the presence of proteins in urine are the main signs of preeclampsia, which may affect the brain if it gets worse. The affected brain causes convulsions resulting into eclampsia. Placental abnormalities such as insufficient blood flow, abnormal maternal immune response to the developing placenta, endothelial cell damage and inflammation, genetic factors that are carried by either the mother or the father, autoimmune disorders and hormonal imbalances, nutritional and environmental factors, cardiovascular and inflammatory changes. Who is at risk for eclampsia? Women with untreated preeclampsia, history of preeclampsia in prior pregnancies or family history, first pregnancy or primi gravida, young mothers, late pregnancy over the age of 35, pregnancy gap more than 10 years, gestational or chronic hypertension, history of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, pregnancies with multiple fetuses, and obesity. Symptoms. Because preeclampsia can lead to eclampsia, you may have symptoms of both conditions. The following are common symptoms of preeclampsia: high blood pressure, proteinuria, swelling in the face or hands, fluid accumulation in the lungs, headaches, excessive weight gain, nausea, vomiting, vision problems, abdominal pain, especially in the right upper abdomen. Eclampsia symptoms. When preeclampsia is severe, it may progress to cause seizures. Most often, they are generalized seizures causing a woman to lose consciousness and have jerking movements of the arms and legs. Postpartum seizures can also occur, usually within the first 48 hours after delivery. Symptoms include severe headache, visual problems, nausea, vomiting, multi organ failure results in reduced urine output, abdominal pain, especially in the upper right area, shortness of breath, restlessness, intrauterine growth retardation of the fetus, and fetal distress. Diagnosis. Blood pressure reading above 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury is known as hypertension. Blood pressure measurement. At every prenatal visit, a woman will have her blood pressure measured. With preeclampsia, the blood pressure is usually normal at the beginning of the pregnancy, but around 20 weeks gestation, it starts to elevate. If the blood pressure is above 140 over 90 millimeters of mercury, it's considered as hypertension, but there must be two separate readings that are at least 4 or 6 hours apart. Preeclampsia and gestational hypertension both are considered as hypertensive disorders, but gestational hypertension doesn't cause injury to organs in the body or proteinuria. At every prenatal visit, a woman will have her urine assessed for protein and glucose. Urine sample. Proteinuria monitoring. Check urine For protein at every prenatal visit, urine samples are collected over 12 hours or more and the amount of protein is assessed. The doctor may also order further diagnostic tests to assess how well the kidneys and the liver are functioning. Non-stress test to monitor the fetus. A non-stress test measures how the fetal heart rate changes as the fetus moves. Treatment for preeclampsia. It's very important every pregnant woman is monitored for preeclampsia so it can be managed, which can help with the prevention of eclampsia in most cases. The recommended treatment for preeclampsia during pregnancy is delivery of the baby. Delivery of the baby and placenta should resolve the condition. In some cases, especially if the preeclampsia started early, delivery may not be the best option for the fetus. If you are at week 37 or later, your doctor may induce labor. If you have preeclampsia prior to 37 weeks, your doctor will consider both your and your baby's health in deciding the timing for your delivery. Medications and monitoring will help keep your blood pressure within a safer range until the baby is mature enough to deliver. Bed rest. To help prevent further complications, your doctor may ask you to go on bed rest to try to lower blood pressure and increase blood flow to the placenta. Some women are advised to just lie down in bed and only sit up or stand when they have to. Blood pressure and urine tests will be carried out regularly. The baby will also be monitored closely. In severe cases, the woman may have to be hospitalized and given continuous bed rest where she will be monitored closely. In some cases, the following medications may be recommended: antihypertensives to lower blood pressure. They must be used with caution on a pregnant woman because blood flow must be maintained to the placenta and baby. Anticonvulsants. These drugs are used in severe cases to prevent a seizure. Corticosteroids to help speed up the development of the fetus. Protein-rich diet and restricting excess salt intake. Treatment after delivery. Once the baby is delivered, most women will have normal blood pressure readings 48 hours after delivery and liver and kidney function return to normal within a few months. In rare cases, a woman may experience high blood pressure after giving birth. This can occur between a few days and a few weeks after having the baby. For this reason, close follow-up care with your doctor and regular blood pressure checks are important even after delivery of your baby. Postpartum preeclampsia and eclampsia can progress quickly and can have serious effects. It's important to get treatment immediately. Close monitoring of the woman and her fetus will be needed. The following steps can help maintain healthy blood pressure and reduce the risk of preeclampsia. Regular follow-up, resting, keeping the feet elevated, drinking at least 8 glasses of water per day, avoiding fried or processed food, avoiding added salt from the diet, regular exercise, restricting alcohol and caffeine intake, taking medications and supplements as prescribed by the doctor. Complications. Complications are rare if the woman goes to antenatal appointments. However, if the condition is not diagnosed for some reason, the risks are considerably greater. The following complications may develop from preeclampsia. It can be life-threatening for both mother and child if left untreated. Bleeding problems due to low platelet levels, placental abruption, liver dysfunction, kidney failure, stroke, cardiac arrest, and death. Eclampsia, pulmonary edema, and HELLP syndrome. HELLP syndrome, which means the liver and blood clotting systems are not functioning properly. It's a combined liver and blood clotting disorder that most commonly occurs right after giving birth but can appear at any time after the 20th week of pregnancy. Very rarely, it may occur beforehand. The only way to treat HELLP syndrome effectively is to deliver the baby as soon as possible. If the signs of preeclampsia are ignored, a mother is at risk of going on to develop eclampsia. Eclampsia is diagnosed based on the development of tonic-clonic seizures or coma in a pregnant woman. The seizures generally last for less than a minute, during which jerky repetitive movements of the arms, neck, jaw, and legs are seen. Other symptoms include a loss of vision, headaches, nausea, and vomiting. Sometimes the mother may not experience any convulsions but instead fall straight into a coma. Complications for the baby. If eclampsia is properly managed, the effects to your child should be very little, but eclampsia does affect placenta, reducing blood flow to it, which may result into decreased oxygen, blood and nutrient supply to the fetus. This may cause suffocation, placental abruption, low birth weight, various health issues, and in some cases even stillbirth, even though it's very rare. Even though the issues related with eclampsia get resolved once the baby is born, there is still an increased risk of the mother suffering from both eclampsia and preeclampsia in the subsequent pregnancies. But if you talk to your doctor and inform him about history of eclampsia in yourself or your family, it can be better managed, reducing the risk to some extent. Sometimes preterm delivery may be required, which may then expose the baby to the complications of prematurity, such as underdeveloped organs, breathing difficulties, jaundice, anemia, a lowered immune system, etc. With optimal treatment and careful follow up, the majority of women with eclampsia return to normal health after delivery. Thank you.